Today, North Carolina FC trying to prove they're one of the premier teams entering the USL Championship playoffs. Today, visiting Loudoun United FC in our match presented by Sager. Coming to you from Leesburg, Virginia. I'm Chris Makovic. Alongside me, Eric Dobransky. As we look down over Sager Field, two teams right now trying to battle into the playoffs, but different scenarios for sure for either side.
Both teams looking to pick up 3 points. Like you said, sitting on different ends of the standings. North Carolina needs 3 points in order to finish towards the top of the Eastern Conference standings. And can they get points on the road? Loudoun needs 3 points if they have any hopes of climbing into that top 10 position.
Yeah, and you see this right here with the playoff odds overall for North Carolina and really the top 8 teams in the Eastern Conference, really solidifying things at 99% overall. Really little chance they fall out of the table, but Loudoun holding on hope, but they're going to need a lot of help. 40 points they need at this point in the table. And for Loudoun of late, one of the hot players that they'll need down the stretch is Kyle Murphy.
The team's leading goal scorer with 6 goals, had the equalizer this past Wednesday against Birmingham in their 1-1 draw. He has been dangerous throughout the season. He helped Loudoun really control the second half of that game against Birmingham, that they were unfortunate not to pick up 3 points. They'll need Murphy today to continue to climb the standings.
And Kyle Murphy, as we mentioned, 6 goals on the season. For North Carolina, they've had some success scoring on their own accord despite being shut out by Louisville last weekend.
They need to put in a full 90-minute performance today. They need to be professional. They need 3 points. They want to continue to finish in that top end of the standings.
And again, the top 4 teams here in either conference will get a bye plus host that second round matchup in the playoffs upcoming in the USL Championship. North Carolina FC trying to get back on track, but Loudoun United maybe trying to play spoiler here in the Eastern Conference. Starting 11s and a kickoff coming up next. Welcome back here into Sager Field from Leesburg, Virginia. Today's match presented by Sager, Loudoun United FC meeting up with North Carolina FC. Two teams opposite sides of the playoff line, but certainly both with the same mission, trying to get into the USL Championship playoffs. And for today's match, we start with Loudoun in our starting 11s presented by the National Conference Center.
As we highlighted in the open, Kyle Murphy is going to be somebody to watch, but I would also keep an eye on Antonio Bustamante. He's been in good form recently, and he's been his ability to create and be a playmaker from deep positions.
Yeah, and Bustamante in the center of that midfield, as well as Gordon Wild trying to create out there. Amo as well joining at the top of the formation as we hit the final stretch of the season for Loudoun United. On the other side, Eric, we take a look at North Carolina FC. Typical look for them overall, but some new faces for this matchup.
With no Stephen Miller in the 18, look for Fortune and Awolo to lead this team. Fortune has been dangerous in his ability to find opportunities in the final third.
Aguian as well as Miller not in the 18 here today. Maybe some squad rotation here for Dave Sarakin, knocking off some rust after 3 matches in 7 days. Really could take a toll on your squad as you hit this important stretch of the season. back here, Segra Field. And one name really to watch as well out in front of us today is Renix for North Carolina FC. The youngster, 20-year-old, has impressed early on. He's on loan from New England Revolution and has spent 4 matches with the U20 squad for the United States at the 2019 World Cup in Poland, as he'll take the top of the formation here for North Carolina FC. Our injury report, of course, brought to you by Ortho Virginia. For North Carolina, a few in there, but Lomas especially one to note as he's been missing time lately. Ben Spees as well has been out, and he's a real playmaker that they will miss down the rest of the stretch of the season. Spees, 53 created chances this season, 3rd in the Eastern Conference, but his side has created well without him in the last few matches. Tied now for 3rd in the Eastern Conference at 47 goals. We're off and running here from Segra Field, and it's the home side knocking it out of play. Loudoun United to start. North Carolina in the all-white will get us going. North Carolina, as you saw before, number 6 currently in the Eastern Conference, but a chance today to move up tied for 2nd with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And just one of 2 matchups in the Eastern Conference going on this evening, as the other one 2v3 actually, Nashville SC battling Tampa Bay Rowdies. So a great night of action here in the USL Championship.
I'm extremely interested to see how Loudoun starts this game out. When they put some pressure on Birmingham on Wednesday, they created a number of dangerous opportunities. So they come out, do they sit back on this North Carolina team to start, or do they press them?
Loudoun getting some possession early on here, as they'll move it to the right side with Presley. And back through Loudoun, a -10 goal differential. That's been their main issue this season. The goals allowed at 41 overall. North Carolina just 24 as their defensive threat continues. No time Bacchus between the pipes, though, as it is McLeod taking over, the native of Waterloo, Ontario. Loudoun, as we mentioned, coming off of a 1-1 draw here at Segra Field against Birmingham on Wednesday, where Kyle Murphy really put on a piece of brilliance on that crossover on the pass from Sorda.
I think you mentioned it with Loudoun, their inability to keep goals out. And I think with North Carolina, can they be clinical in the final third in this first half and throughout the game, really?
Murphy drawing the contact there in the air. This will be brought back to midfield. As Thomas Snyder having his first words with both sides, and we're back underway. North Carolina, meanwhile, a great stretch for their offense of late. And most fans of the USL Championship will probably think back to that 5-0 victory at home over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, as they were shut out by Louisville 1-0 last week, and it was actually their first shutout. I should say them being shut out in their offense since they were shut out by Pittsburgh way back in July. So this is really a great stretch for North Carolina, trying to get back on track, and really Dave Sarakin put it like this: fatigue got to them, the rest was an issue, and now with a full week behind them to work, and their next game not until 7 days from now, they can really get back to business overall.
I'm looking at what kind of energy North Carolina comes out with, because you said it. They played 3 games in 8 days when they faced that Louisville team. They were shut out. They had put 4 against Tampa Bay. So they put nine goals in 3 games, obviously shut out against Louisville. Can they get it going again today? And Coach Sarakin said it. Fatigue was a big part of that 3rd game.
Saw Duvernay there in the background taking the throw in, making the start today. Number 7 overall for the Cary, North Carolina native. One of many players on the squad from the NCFC Youth Academy. He's standing over the ball now to restart things here from Leesburg, Virginia. Again, I'm Chris McCovic, alongside me, Eric Dobransky. Smith trying to get something going up ahead with Fortune. And Fortune has been excellent of late for North Carolina. Sarakin saying he's really stepped up and showing a lot of confidence. That's really the best way to put it, of his form of late, as he's now 2-time player of the week here in USL Championship week 24, but also back in week 14.
And he was really good against that Tampa Bay team. He made good runs into the final third and good late runs. I think one of his goals was a good late run, started at midfield.
Burforth back over to his keeper, as Brown will sail it down the field, headed on and back to North Carolina FC. Loudoun leading Birmingham in shots, 14-10, and shots on target 4-2. So a lot of chances in that match, including 7 corner kicks for either side, but of course not able to really put anything in the back of the net other than that one Murphy tally. North Carolina trying to stretch things. Duvernay back over centrally. Deflected, point blank stop there. Not sure what Brotherton was doing, trying to knock that down the field.
This first 15 minutes is going to be very interesting in terms of what each team is trying to do.
Al-Badawi back centrally, but picked off by Martinez, who's back with the squad after missing a game due to yellow card accumulation.
Can Loudoun string together another performance like they did on Wednesday?
Amo chesting it down at the top of the formation, and the Ghanaian will draw a throw-in now for his home side. Amo just now his 7th appearance overall, but has a goal to his name already this season.
And Amo was a player on Wednesday that really felt like he should have gotten a goal on Wednesday against Birmingham.
Cutting it back, the shot deflected. Murphy back on the ball. The captain spins back across and grabbed by McLeod. Not much really there for the striker, but tried to create something.
Murphy's so dangerous in this space. They've got to continue to keep an eye on him. He's so opportunistic. Off a deflection, he's looking to take it himself.
We saw there as well, Carlos Alvarez, bringing the ball down in the box, trying to create. Made his name known with Las Vegas last season. 7 goals, 4 assists.
Going back to their performance on Wednesday, Loudoun really put it to Birmingham in that last 45. Really was unfortunate not to walk away with 3 points, and for a team that's looking to climb into the top 10, they really need to maximize points throughout the rest of the season, with 7 of their last 10 games coming at home.
Laying it off. Al-Badawi inside. Rennick's there, but this will be brought back off sides. And it will be a free kick for Loudoun. NCFC did fall to Louisville 1-0, but at the same time they did have their opportunities in that match. Rennick's off the post late in the second half. Awolo off sides. He would have had a goal in the 32nd minute. But overall for Dave Sarakin, really, he thinks even the rest of the season, looking at generalities, it's about finishing, consistency in the box, and taking it to the opponents, as that through ball is stopped in the end by number 22, Harry Hawkins, excuse me. Bustamante down the right flank. Presley bringing it down out of play, though, and it's back to Duvernay and North Carolina FC.
When we spoke to Coach Sarakin early this week, he was very happy with the way his team has grown throughout the season, established the way they want to play. They've been a little more consistent. They have been hard to score on. Obviously, they had that 5-0 win against Pittsburgh. They had the 4-2 victory against Tampa. Unfortunately, they had the 1-0 loss against Louisville City. And Coach Sarakin said of the Louisville City game was they just had to make a play, and Louisville City made their play.
Ball down the field, a heavy challenge coming in, but Brotherton gets the stop, and he'll spark North Carolina the other way. Maybe something opening up here. Al-Badawi leading on his teammates in the charge. Fortune puts his hand up, looking for a ball into the box, and a clear takedown edge of the box. Free kick coming for North Carolina. We'll see if a card as well.
Reckless challenge here. Really, he's defending him well, and then gave him a set piece here.
Former ACC Freshman of the Year, Manny Perez, drawing the contact as it came in from Dembro, who receives a yellow card in the end for that stop, and deservingly so.
Anytime you pick up an early yellow card as a defender, now you've got to kind of manage the game. You get a yellow in the first 10 minutes. Now you've got 80+ minutes to manage You're going to watch every tackle. You're going to watch set pieces. And then if you're on North Carolina's side, now you've got somebody to go at a little more often.
Paris still feeling the contact from that foul. He was brought up through the NCFC Youth Academy and then going to Celtic FC, now on loan from that club. Taking a look here on the heavy contact.
And he did a good job of slowing him up and just kind of got the ball pushed past him, wondering if that was going to run out of bounds anyways.
And already we're hearing a substitution for Perez, and we talked about some injuries to potentially big players for North Carolina, and we see one go off there, but Chester, funny enough, the last goal he's had this season was against Loudoun, that 3-0 victory for North Carolina a few weeks back. Well, he had 2 in that match in the span of 2 minutes, and coming up here, looking to add some pop to that right wing.
Early substitution, but a dynamic player that, like you mentioned, had 2 goals the last time they met. You hate to see a substitution early based on injury, but when you have a player like Chester coming on.
They'll look to add some pop out there as Perez, you could see, hobbling a bit there. Nonetheless, back to the action, 11th minute. And a free kick here for North Carolina FC. We'll see how they can create this. They have 9 goals in their last 3 matches, but keep in mind, one of those, they were shut out. They can really put them in when they start flying, headed away in the end. As it's back with North Carolina in the all-white, all-red here for the home side in Loudoun United. They'll roll it around the back. These 2 teams very disciplined overall this season, as Loudoun United 3rd fewest fouls conceded in the Eastern Conference, and for North Carolina, fewest fouls, but tied for 4th, just a few behind Loudoun. Through ball goes out of play, and it's back to Loudoun United, as it'll be Brown to kick this away. Kelly Brown, 36 saves this season in his 10 starts, now 11, giving it off the short round. Taylor going down, no call, and here comes Loudoun United. Ball sent in, headed away on the slide. They'll reset on this far side. Cutting back around, Presley's wide open, the strike comes, deflected, still bouncing around, stepping up, and drilled back away by North Carolina.
Loudoun's playing with a lot of confidence from Wednesday. And if you let them build into this game, they're going to continue to get a little more confidence going forward. As I mentioned in the open, if Antonio Bustamante can really play make from that holding midfield position and play some dangerous balls into Kyle Murphy, this is going to be a tough matchup for North Carolina.
And things really getting interesting here at Segra Field, as now DJ Taylor, the right back for North Carolina, is down, making start number 26 of the season, as Dave Sarakin certainly looks over there with some concern.
Looks like he was clipped right there at the end.
And Taylor was down for a while considering that, and then all the buildup for Loudoun United. He's feeling something there. And I'm not sure I've ever seen it before where a team has had to use 2 substitutions in the first 13 minutes. We'll see if he can stay on.
That would be incredibly unfortunate if they have to use, if Coach Sarakin has to use 2 subs in the first 15 minutes here.
Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. North Carolina FC now trying to tend to DJ Taylor, who's been such an impact from the back line. Celebrating his birthday this week. It looks like he will be set to come back in. That's very good news. As already, if you're just joining us, we Had to see Chester come on for the injured Manny Perez as he went down, courtesy of a foul on the right wing. Burforth back over to Brown.
I think as play continues, North Carolina is going to want to see if they can get Renix involved in this game. He was really dangerous against Tampa Bay, just didn't reward himself with a goal, but good little runs.
Down the right flank, ball sent in, but no one making the run. Renix was there. They force it enough, though, for a corner kick. North Carolina back on the end of one. Another look here. As it was a great through ball down the right wing, and then Chester took over.
A good transitional moment. Can they look for Renix? And then those were the runs that Fortune was so good at against Tampa Bay, was those late runs in between that PK spot and the top of the 18.
Excuse me, Iwolo coming down the right flank. Now Chester moving to the left as the ball is whipped in there, headed up by Amo. Knocked back, here comes Chester after it. He's gonna keep that in play. Back out to Renix, they'll have to reset though. Top of the box, Bustamante inside, Abadawi out to Chester, back across and cleared. Corner kick coming for North Carolina FC. Another look here as Loudoun coming to the save inside the box as Chester whipped this.
This was a good spell by North Carolina, and something that Coach Sarakin really wanted to work on was those runs in the final third.
Minute 16, NCFC looking to strike. They're on a 3-match winning streak before the loss to Louisville last week. Win today would be their 4th in the month of August. Ball whipped in and grabbed out of the air by Brown, and he looks to distribute quickly. A punt down the field. Not much coordination there, as it is wild up the field, but unable to bring it down. Bustamante there as well, but out of play as Presley came running up the right flank.
To begin the game, Loudoun's dealt with services very well, whether it was set piece services, corner services, or services just out wide. They've done well, and that's something they're going to continue to have to do throughout the game.
Brotherton looking ahead. We'll try that right flank again. Iwolo and Fortune exchanging. Trying to stretch Loudoun down the field again.
And on the opposite side, when you go into set pieces and corners and wide play with North Carolina, as they get a feel of this game, they're going to find those pockets. So within the first 17 minutes here, they've had 3 corner kicks. So as the game develops, you're going to start to get a better idea of what pockets of space you can attack. And then when you get a Wolo out wide, what pockets of space are going to be available to you as a team. So watch that as this game goes on.
Chester goes down, ball out of play, and it will go to Loudoun United. And we talked about Loudoun's chances for the playoffs coming up as we check out this play. Burforth getting in there and all ball.
You can see Chester's made himself available in this game right away. Has been on the ball numerous times.
And Loudoun trying to get back to some consistency this season. Winless in their last 6, 0-3-2 across the last 5 included. And the last win came way back on July 28th, 3-0 surprisingly over Louisville City. And this very venue. And it's back the other way, out of play. Fortune. Iwolo trying to lead the charge for North Carolina. Loudoun responding here, trying to get some possession going.
It's interesting because for a team that sits 15th, Loudoun plays with a lot of confidence going forward. You see a lot of teams that you know, maybe at the bottom of the standings, that they're fine going side to side, going backwards. They're really confident playing those tight balls into space, into tight channels. They play with a lot of confidence and a lot of courage.
Trying to build some possession here. Martinez takes it in. He'll scoop it into the box. Trying to find Wild, and it goes just in front of him. and back to the hands of McLeod.
I will say that's something that they're going to have to continue to build with this Loudoun United team, is that final third, the movement. With being a younger team, a lot of parts are interchanging lineup to lineup, game to game. Can you get that consistency in the final third and what you want to do as a team, as an organization?
Rolo gives the ball off. Smith keeping it alive. He steps up, takes the strike, but a wishful one up into the crowd.
And that'll be something that Loudoun United's perfectly fine with a team that's so dangerous in the final third with the movement and the confidence on the ball. If they're giving up a 25, 30-yard shot, they'll take that.
Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Ball trickling back to the left side of the field, as the Select ball will be at the feet of North Carolina FC as we restart. Again, North Carolina sitting at 46 points, 6th overall. The real goal being in that top 4 by the end of the season in the Eastern Conference. A conference that's a bit more spread out than the West, and I should say the Western Conference outside of Phoenix. They're running away with it at the moment. As Duvernay takes it in near side. Looking down the left flank, plays the ball in. Verfurth back over to Brown. As Renix again with the pressure at the top.
Yeah, we talked about the standings early on and how important 3 points are at each team. But you have a North Carolina team that sits in 5th and 3 points off the 2nd place team in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so tight at the top of the East right now. It's been a shuffle, really, as Tampa Bay Rowdies got off to such a hot start this season. They cooled off a little bit and allowed other teams to get back in. They're trying to make a statement tonight against Nashville in their home confines of Al Lang. Ball brought down. Martinez takes a slip, and North Carolina a chance here. Al-Badawi out wide. Iwolo steps forward. End line plays it. No, cuts back. Chipped in. Chester back centrally, but then cleared, and a real breakdown there for North Carolina.
You could see early on North Carolina as they approach Loudoun's defensive third, they're gonna try to push it wide, really spread them, and try to, what we talked about earlier was find those pockets of space that they can serve balls into or drive them in.
That one stopped by Bustamante. Given off, Alvarez. Now right side, Presley on the run, but so is Chester. Presley, final third, playing it into Chester. This will be out, it looks like, for a throw, and indeed it is.
Very well done by Chester. Good run by Presley as well. Presley did well against Birmingham Legion. He was involved in a lot of the build-up play. He had a number of chances from the back.
And Presley, a player that likes to get out wide, likes to get up as that right back. 5th in crosses attempted in the Eastern Conference. And so someone to watch when he's stretching down the field, and it should be a fun battle 1v1 with Chester here this evening. Funny enough, Chester actually came off the bench as well in the previous matchup between these two as he meets up with Presley again. Ball whipped in, dangerous one, falls free and just over the crossbar, maybe just to the right for Gordon Wild, and the referee saying a deflection occurred, so now a corner kick for Loudoun just like that.
As we talk about Presley, he sends in a good service, a very purposeful service, falls on the foot, falls to Gordon. Good defending by North Carolina to get it away at the last moment.
And Brotherton squeezing his body in there, the native of New Zealand, and of course spending 2 years at Wisconsin. Good opportunity here for Loudoun. Ball whipped in, headed up and away though. Bustamante trying to keep the attack going. Flicked back in by Martinez, but an easy grab out of the air by McLeod. McLeod making his 5th start of the season, spending last year with Swope Park Rangers primarily as the backup. 2 clean sheets in his 10 appearances. Chester back the other way. Presley battling with the forward. He wins it. No call. We continue. Al-Badawi up to Renix, trying to find the angle. Good through ball. Cut back over. No. Fortune denied. Hawkins was there to get a poke. And Loudoun just like that. Another breakdown for NCFC in the final third, and the defense clears it. Ball floated near side. Here's Chester. Cutting back in, looking for the angle. Closed down quickly, though. As it was Wild stepping up. Duvernay, NC State former player, taking it in. Very active at this left back spot so far today.
Talk about active. Chester has been all over the field right now. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much of what Perez was going to do, but Chester's come on and been dynamic.
Well, you see what Chester can bring off the bench as a player, that new energy that you want in the second half, but of course he had to come in about 10 minutes in. Al-Badawi, stopped by Hawkins, still alive, goes down, and getting back up as no call comes. Duvernay all the way back. Oh, excuse me, Brotherton, as he'll play it out of the back. And Fortune will connect back with the offense. Duvernay stepping up again on the left back slot. Over to Chester. Battling with Presley, looking for the angle. He'll cut it in, headed up as Verfurth was there. That ball's still alive. Smith through the traffic. Chester tries to win it, but no. Loudoun back the other way. Just outside the reach of Murphy. He thought he had the flick on, and the captain unhappy with that.
And you can really see what each team's trying to do. North Carolina's trying to spread them out in the final third, try to get those deep runs in, and then Loudoun's trying to break big lines of pressure really quickly in transition and really try to find Murphy and try to find Gordon, and they've been successful.
Presley, Wild, here comes Loudoun. Alvarez getting it picked away by Chester. Al-Badawi. Now Renix working against Martinez. Wild out wide to the far side. Amo taking it in. Whips it. A pretty clear deflection by Taylor. And now Loudoun looking for a bit of possession here at Segra Field.
And this might be what North Carolina wants to see from Loudoun in terms of they're not breaking big lines of pressure, keep the ball in front of you. Can they break you down? And I think North Carolina will take their chances with Loudoun trying to break them down.
Ball ahead, Murphy the shot, but the deflection, but just sneaking out of play as McLeod went for the dive. Another corner kick here for Loudoun United.
When you have a team that's still trying to grow in the final third like Loudoun United, anytime you can get a set piece like that and get a corner here early, it's going to benefit your team and allow your team to really grow into this game.
Stampede cheering on the home side as they line up for this corner kick. Their second overall of the match here in minute 28. Whipped in, headed up by Brotherton. Smith along as well. Good challenge out. Badawi getting in there. Chester through the traffic, stays on his feet but without the ball. Murphy wanted to give it to Amo, but instead out of play. And Presley after it, can't get there.
Other than the chance that Loudoun United had with Gordon Wild earlier, both teams have dealt with services very well. They've been secure with them, no real problems.
Yeah, and I feel like for North Carolina, they're getting those through balls, good looks in the box, but finishing just isn't there.
Yeah, you wonder how much a team has to build into, you know, a team maybe not typically playing on turf like this. What kind of weight of pass needs to be in the final third. You can kind of see maybe North Carolina is struggling with that. What kind of what pace needs to be on a 5-yard ball, 10-yard ball, things like that. So as this game develops, maybe that's something a little, you know, that North Carolina will grow into and really develop.
Mo back over for Loudoun United to Bustamante. And Loudoun, this is still a pretty new venue for them here at Sager Field. They spent most of the season at Audi Field, home of DC United. That's actually where they got their first home win against Atlanta United 2. And on that day, Gordon Wild actually was still a member of that squad. And now today, starting for Loudoun, ball sent in, but clearly knocked away as there was a chase after it. Awolo stepping up, a little chip over the top, targeting Renix into the box, pressure, but Brown pounces on it, and it's back to Loudoun.
Renix is such a handful up there. I want to see how Renix and Fortune, that relationship develops throughout the game as well. You saw Renix in that previous play drop in and receive the ball deeper. Can Fortune see the space in behind and really replace him as the 9 at center forward?
And Renix just making his 6th appearance overall, so still getting that chemistry down, has 1 assist for the side. Had a goal in Open Cup play for New England. As this ball sent in, Alvarez back over, but an own goal in the end. The stampede and celebration as North Carolina, the miscue, puts Loudoun United on the board. 1-0 here at Sager Field.
Such an unfortunate goal to give up, but you got to give Loudoun United a lot of credit for being opportunistic, finding that quick outlet in transition, finding that space.
Alvarez down the right flank into the box. And you have to say, he was looking for the far post, but instead he found Brotherton, took a whack at it and right in. And Brotherton thought he would find his 3rd of the season in the back, and then instead he's still on 2 goals. He has an own goal to his name.
You can see Alvarez is looking for that farther post. Whenever you have defenders facing their own goal and you drive that ball low, you can cause havoc, whether it's the far side runner that ends up on the ball, or just like this, Brotherton ends up knocking it in, unfortunately knocking into his own goal.
And you can understand the frustrations from the Auckland native. And here in the 31st, Brotherton the own goal. It's 1-0 to Loudoun here at home. And now Dave Sarakin, he lost a sub early on in the match with an injury, and now finds himself down 1-0 to Loudoun.
Momentum is such a real thing within seasons. You've got a North Carolina team that was pretty much begging for kind of a week off after that Louisville City game with those 3 games in 8 days. And then you have a Loudoun team that just played Wednesday night against a Birmingham Legion team that's been hot. So you'd wonder if Loudoun was going to carry the momentum with the 1-1 draw, and then really feeling like they should have had 3 points in that game because of how they played in that second half. And then you have a team in North Carolina that just had a week off. Are they just a bit rusty? And again, for a team that really looks to develop things in the final third and be dynamic in the final third, is that a little bit of rust, and they haven't been as dangerous in that attack as they've wanted to be.
And you talked about both teams trying to play their own identity and game. As Renix takes it in, he'll give it off here as Fortune and Awolo try to work the offense here. Back over to Smith. Here's Duvernay trying to build forward. Fortune knocks it wide. Here's Chester. Through ball, short one at that to Duvernay. He has to take a quick turn back to Chester. They can't penetrate the box here. We talked about each team playing their own style, and so far Loudoun, their counterattack has worked. Duvernay trying to help out North Carolina here, but it's stolen back. And for North Carolina, it's been this possession style, but they haven't been able to really puncture the box and get a true chance going. But Loudoun, 1 chance, and they're off and running. Almost another here, but cleared up in the air by McLeod.
Yeah, it seems like North Carolina is struggling to find a rhythm right now. I would expect Fortune to start learning where those gaps are and where the space is that he can attack. I think he's really feeling his way into this game right now.
Yeah, the best chances so far for North Carolina coming on the wings, certainly. And you can see not many chances so far in this match, but Loudoun getting the majority and 1 goal because of it.
And you would expect North Carolina to continue to use those wings, but maybe as the game goes on, they get a little bit more runners in. Whenever you're playing a team that really likes to transition pretty quickly, sometimes the midfielders are a little wary of attacking that final third and getting in the box because they're a little worried about a counter. Those transitional moments that Loudoun has really found them, but as this game wears on, they might get more and more comfortable.
Ball sent in all the way as Chester somehow will get to this. He brings it down before it goes out of play. Back to Duvernay, looks into the box, brought down, looked like a handball, and indeed this will be brought back. Free kick for NCFC.
It's been nice to see from North Carolina after giving up the unfortunate goal just a few minutes ago. They've kind of gone back to their business, possessing, really trying to find those wide areas. I really like what Chester's doing so far. He has been extremely active.
Fortune will be the one standing over the ball. Native of Raleigh, North Carolina. 7 goals, 1 assist this season, making start number 18. There's a 2-man wall for Loudoun. Awkward angle potentially here for Brown in between the pipes. And we'll see what Fortune decides to do with the ball. He sends it in over the head of Hawkins, and miscommunication, but it's back with Loudoun. We'll take another look here as Brown retrieves the ball. Kind of an awkward position there as Hawkins, I don't know if he was being more aware than we thought, but he let it go over his head.
Yeah, was it awareness? It looks like he ducked out of it at the last second. A little fortunate that nobody had continued their run for North Carolina to catch it on the back end of the service.
Tune in to ESPN 3 on September 11th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for an electrifying edition of Wednesday Night Soccer. High-flying Phoenix Rising FC heads to Las Vegas to meet the Lights in an action-packed Western Conference showdown. See it all on September 11th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time during Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN 3. A high-flying Western Conference matchup. Las Vegas can put up the goals sometimes, and Phoenix certainly can over their last 16 matches, as Wild retrieves it right on the end line, but stopped by Chester. Duvernay back to Chester, and a pause in the action with the potential head injury as Wild goes down. I'll have to take another look here to see how severe this contact was as Chester went around the Loudoun midfielder.
Loudoun's doing such a good job of finding Gordon Wild into space. Chester's doing a good job of tracking back as well, but they're dragging him in, and then they're pumping that ball wide, and they're causing some problems on North Carolina's left flank.
And it looks like this will be a foul, so out of Wild potentially losing possession. Now a chance blooms for Loudoun United. See if they can extend this lead. Wild again spending about half the campaign with Atlanta United 2, the other half with Loudoun United. Right at home as a former Terrapin at the University of Maryland. Lining up for this one. Low one, top of the box. Strikes it true, back of the net. Oh, what a finish, Bustamante. It's 2-0 Loudoun.
What a clever set piece. Getting somebody involved that I said from the outset that I wanted to watch was Antonio Bustamante, how he came in from deep positions, and to set him up with a set piece like this is incredible.
Gorgeous finish. as if on the training ground, right from the top of the box. Another look here. He knew where he was going with this one.
This 22-year-old's been playing with such confidence lately, and I wanted to see how he continued to play with that confidence. And when you can take that one touch with a lot of traffic in front of you and confidently hit that right side of the net.
Antonio Bustamante, his third of the season. A huge insurance tally against his NCFC squad. And Loudoun off and running here in the 40th.
This is what you wanted to see from Loudoun, is can they build off the game on Wednesday? I hate to keep referring to that game, but that game, they really developed a lot of good habits going forward and really stuck to a good game plan. Unfortunate not to get the 3 points, and here they are carrying out what they really started on Wednesday.
It has come at the hands of North Carolina FC, really. 2 mistakes for North Carolina, leading to 2-0 lead, and Loudoun wanting a bit more here at home. Wild back on possession, Duvernay a touch. Fortune helps it along, and now Chester and Fortune trying to lead the charge the other way. Including this match, 7 of the last 10 this season at home for Loudoun. And if they can capitalize, really a great opportunity to sneak their way into the playoff discussion. It starts tonight if they can find 3 points. So far, so good in the first 41.
Such a good start by Loudoun United, a team that really was looking for 3 points to climb those standings. It's unfortunate for North Carolina to start out with an own goal, but that second goal by Bustamante was incredible.
A piece of class there from a young talent here in USL Championship, and maybe a bit more. A Mo back the other way. Murphy centrally, so is Wild. Strikes it, but just up and out of play. No deflection along the way, as it is a goal kick for NCFC.
At halftime, North Carolina is really going to have to talk about that spacing in the midfield, because Loudoun's finding good pockets of space to work, whether it's on the ground or in the air. They're finding good pockets, they're finding safe pockets to operate, and it puts your back line under a lot of pressure when they find pockets like that. And you can see it, they're really finding width at will.
Ball deflected, corner kick for NCFC, maybe some momentum before halftime.
If you're North Carolina, you'd love to get a goal right now on a set piece. Try to at least cut this lead into half, going into halftime.
Lining up for this corner kick is Fortune. As I mentioned, 1 assist this season, looking for 2. Ball whipped in, Iwo's there, brings it down, cleared by Burfirth, as it is Bustamante, the recent goal scorer, leading the charge the other way. Murphy, the captain, on the run towards the box. Wild on the opposite side, working against Taylor. Lays it off. And Bustamante almost finding that angle once again. Wild, end line, met by 2 NCFC players though. They'll work it around as Loudoun continues possession here at Segra Field.
And again, Loudoun United dealt very well with the corner. They've not given up any second chance opportunities on set pieces. They've been very confident with playing out.
Brown out of the back. They keep in mind how young this Loudoun United team is as well. This is a big moment for them. Up 2-0, not letting that slip away, and really trying to show a lot of maturity here down the stretch.
You want to see how they continue to manage this game. You're up 2-0 at half, or almost to halftime. Game's not nearly over. This is a North Carolina team that can be very dangerous in the final third, and as we could see against Tampa and Pittsburgh, they can score a lot of goals.
They're almost coming back from that 1-0 deficit against Louisville last week. Some good chances second half against the 2-time defending champions. As Presley will take this throw-in. Native of Austin, Texas, at 21 years old. Back to the right back. Moving ahead, through ball right flank. Amo is there past Duvernay. Ball swept in. Just past Wild and the outstretched boot. Wolo. Loudoun United, a confident bunch right now.
Not that 2-0 hasn't shocked North Carolina already, but 3 would just put them in a rough spot to get out of.
Over the top, here is Chester. Cutting back outside against Presley. Fortune, top of the box. Back in, but just outside the reach of Chester. Oh, he wanted that one. Ryan Martin has to be pleased with his side to start. Joining the coaching staff here about halfway through the season, taking the head job. As he was named the director of DC United's Academy back in January 2017, an All-American at Ohio Wesleyan. And has had a couple coaching stops before getting here to Loudoun United. Ball over the top and a header by Brown, as maybe Awola would have gotten there first.
With as impressive as Loudoun United's been, North Carolina's not a top 5 team for no reason. They have a winning culture. They have that winning spirit that they're going to keep going at them. They're going to keep trying to find the first one and get this game, into grasp.
And currently Loudoun is 10 points out of a playoff spot, out of 10th. And this would go a long way to both shake up the middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference, but also put them a little bit closer. This ball whipped in. Chester's there, but just over his head. Brought down. Duvernay there. Stolen away by Presley. Back with Chester. Through. Duvernay cuts it back. Still alive. Chester. Smith deflected. Abadawi losing it. Chester back over. NCFC, so much action going on, but so little opportunities in terms of chances. Back across and cleared. And a frustrating time outside the box.
Unbelievable effort by Loudoun United to get numbers behind the ball.
Duvernay. Headed up and away. 3 minutes of stoppage time here, sponsored by Ortho Virginia. Cut back, ball put in, dangerous one headed away. Wild pretty clearly dragged back there. It will be a free kick for the home side. That'll get them out of a tense situation, but that back line really held well.
They did, and they seem to be really shoring up a lot of those pockets of space in that final third. When the ball goes wide, I don't know whether it's something they saw against Louisville City when North Carolina played them, but they're really shoring up some of those pockets that they might have seen North Carolina want to be dangerous in, and they've been secure with the clearances.
The captain, lead goal scorer, Kyle Murphy, taking it down the field, and he wins a throw-in. So about 50 seconds remaining here for Loudoun, maybe to find a third. Flick back over, miscommunication with Bustamante. Loudoun somehow find the ball back to them. Alvarez through the back. Murphy, ball missing his feet. Fortune losing it to Martinez. And so far for North Carolina, maybe their own worst enemy here today. Right flank now, Presley. He had it, but lost it out of play on his own dribbling. Throw in for NCFC. And that will do it for the first 45. What a performance here by Loudoun so far.
Great start. I would expect North Carolina to go into halftime, make a few adjustments, and come out flying.
Taking care of their opportunities, and that's what it's all about. From the opponent, putting those in, and 2-0 up. Loudoun United, as we begin our halftime here, brought to you by the National Conference Center. Loudoun up 2-0 over North Carolina FC. Dave Sarakin and his squad heading to the locker room to try and fix things here as they head into the second 45. We'll be back, of course, with more coverage here from Segra Field. Back at Sager Field, 2-0 to Loudoun United at the break. Our halftime presented by the National Conference Center. And it's just about time, Eric, for the playoffs. A bit of discussion here as we hit the final stretch of the season. And for Loudoun, maybe putting teams on notice, but North Carolina, the team in the real mix for a playoff spot, and of course, potentially hosting, in trouble here today.
Correct. North Carolina with 3 points, they could jump. They can tie the Rowdies. The Rowdies in Nashville are playing each other, so somebody's going to drop points there. And then with Loudoun, they've got the ability to jump to 13th if they get 3 points tonight.
And really in the West, everything all over the place. A lot of teams in motion, but for the East, really set in stone who's going to be in it, but not so much the seedings overall. North Carolina, as we look at their schedule ahead, there is certainly a path for a high seed in this tournament. They'll have 4 home matches of their final 7 matches remaining from today. And of course, a great opportunity against Bethlehem next week for 3 points.
Yeah, their next 2 games are against teams that are on the bottom half of the table. So obviously more games that they would like to pick up 3 points.
And some really tough ones. Ottawa coming down the line, NYRB too, but at the same time, those at home. On the other side for Loudoun United, making a good statement today, but for the road for them ahead, really a struggle. 6% chance here, according to the USL, for their appearance potentially into the playoffs. You can see some of the other names in the hunt below the playoff line currently. St. Louis FC, their current skid, but still in contention here in the East.
For Loudoun United, for a young, new franchise, you want to finish the season on a high. And I think right now they're playing good, they're playing well, and they're breaking teams down and really try to get up the standings as far as you can.
And you know as a coach, Eric, how important it is for home field advantage, using that momentum to help you, the fans at home here at Sager Field. And Loudoun will get that chance, as I mentioned, 7 of their final 10 games, including today, at home. They do go on the road next week at Hartford, but a lot of these games winnable, especially in the next 4.
They are new to Sager Field as well, so as we kind of go through this back end of the season, they're going to get more comfortable at home, and they're going to continue to gain confidence.
Yeah, Hartford, Memphis, Bethlehem, Swope Park Rangers, all winnable games for Loudoun, and maybe starting a run here today. Didn't maybe expect this tonight, but North Carolina FC down 2-0 at the break, and we'll be back next, continuing our National Conference Center halftime report here with some more USL action.
Torre will shoot. Oh. He will score. Javon Torre. Let's just say that you walked in. Oh, something. Something's good. Oh my goodness. Loudoun, what a save. Outstanding individual effort. They stand together. Powers delivery. Goes it out! The beauty! Into the captain.
Garcia flicks it in there, back of the net.
Trying to find Chang. Does the volley, and that one batted out.
Into the penalty area. Rito, near post finish. What a goal!
They have this long win streak going, but it's because they're taking care of opportunities as this strike goes up and in.
How about Ferris? How good is this?
So whistled all the way across, headed on frame, tipped over the bar and cleared out by Levine.
Here's Johnson. Saw the goal momentarily. Shot taken by Poco! Scored! He's got the brace.
Oh, it's saved by Lorendi. Cuts it back. Fires a shot, trickles on and in. Charlie Dennis back the other way down the right side, takes it himself.
Slides it into the 18. That ball's touched into the back of the net. And no room to turn, but Bergen! What a strike!
But here's Joe Gallardo now coming forward. Gallardo still on the ball. Gallardo takes a shot, it's pushed away.
Ball is loose inside the 18. Moshamani comes over, shot, stop made by Aviles. Silva will have a hit. Oh, good save by Mejimadu. From the moment he left his boot, it looked destined for goal. On the N4. Hesitates, fires, and finds the back of the net.
Welcome back here into Segra Field. 2-0 Loudoun United. Of course, our halftime presented by the National Conference Center as we take a look at news and notes from around the USL Championship. And the big story out west continues. Phoenix Rising FC, but clinching a playoff spot in this early part of the season.
They have been unbelievable all season, just running away.
Yeah, Casino Arizona Field has been a great hotbed for soccer. Of course, the USL reaching a new deal with ESPN. The home of the USL will continue to be ESPN Plus, along with the linear platforms of ESPN, and also a historic loan coming from Reno 1868 FC with a Cuban player coming on board for Reno. A great step here to the future of domestic soccer in the United States. As the USL Championship, plenty of great matches coming up in the next couple days. New Mexico United, Orange County, a big matchup coming up tomorrow, along with Austin Bolt trying to hold in to their playoff hopes. But St. Louis and Hartford, two teams also trying to get back into the playoff race here in the Eastern Conference. And there are two teams that find themselves at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings at this point. But really, a great battle going on in the standings at this point, as we've talked about, Eric. So tight at the top.
Correct. Obviously, North Carolina is going to look to jump back into the second half and try to get some points here.
Yeah, it'll have to be a big jump for them in the second half, down 2-0. Out in the West, what a battle it will be down the stretch. You see how tight it is. Fourth place OKC, Orange County, and you include a few teams below the line, separated by just 4 points, and it moves really every week.
And we talked about Phoenix Rising, what good form they were on. Fresno FC's done extremely well as well to get up to that top 2 position.
So really the top 3 set in stone in the West, but here in the Eastern Conference, a lot still to play for, and that includes here in Leesburg, Virginia. 2-0 Loudoun United at the break in our halftime, presented by the National Conference Center. And highlights, stats coming up next on the end of this break. Welcome back here into Leesburg, Virginia, presented by the National Conference Center. 2-0 Loudoun United at the break as we get set for our halftime highlights here from Segra Field. And really a whole lot of Loudoun United despite most of the possession with NCFC.
Loudoun was really good in transition. When they won a ball, they went forward.
And you can see this here, Alvarez bringing it down early, chance deflected, and Murphy not able to create much from this, but foreshadowing really the ability in the box for Loudoun.
And Murphy's been a handful from the start.
He has been at the top, leading the charge out there, the captain for Loudoun. NCFC would get their chances, though, from the wing.
But again, Loudoun doing a great job of defending those wide services, really getting numbers behind the ball, frustrating North Carolina, making him try to find option 2-3.
I think that's a great point, Eric. You see the amount of numbers they're getting back in the box, and that's really clogging things for this NCFC side.
I think any time Loudoun can defend facing the opponent's goal, that's better. And then here you go, with Loudoun in their transition.
Saw there that chance by Wild early on as Presley really has gotten in on the attack, putting in some balls.
And this was really a foreshadowing of how much pressure Loudoun United put North Carolina under.
Going back the other way, NCFC some opportunities, pressure here, forcing Brown to pounce on it. As Renix hasn't seen really a goal or a good shot so far, but putting some pressure on, a good match so far. And here comes Loudoun United the other way. Their counterattack blooming as Alvarez back over, but Brotherton sneaks it in.
Alvarez getting a ball into space, having every defender face their goal is a defender's nightmare. You play that ball across, Brotherton being unfortunate, putting that in his own goal.
Some early cheering for the Stampede. Here comes the second. Oh, brilliance from Bustamante, his third of the season, and 2-0 to Loudoun.
Anytime you have a young growing team like this, a set piece like that is fantastic.
Pure class on the set piece as Bustamante putting that one home, and a huge insurance tally here against NCFC. But Dave Saracen at the break having a talk with his veteran squad. What do you think he said in there in the locker room?
They're a top team for a reason, and they've been resilient all season, so I would expect them to come out, make the adjustments. I would expect Fortune to find his way into this game. I would expect Iwolo to find his way into the game. Chester's been dangerous all game. Now, for Loudoun United, they're playing with a 2-0 lead. I'm not sure if they have done this all season. So I'm interested to see how they manage this 45 and how they can continue to frustrate North Carolina in that final third.
The uncharted territory really for Loudoun United. North Carolina this season 1-6-3 when conceding first in matches. So they do have one comeback win, 3 comeback draws overall, but obviously want to be on the other end of the stick. Scoring first, they are 12-0-2, so not too familiar with coming from behind as we're back underway. Second 45 from Sager Field. Again, I'm Chris Makoviak bringing the action from Leesburg, Virginia. Alongside me, Eric Dobransky. 2-0 to Loudoun United on some mistakes, really, to put it lightly, for North Carolina FC. If you're just joining us, it was a slow start for North Carolina. They had to sub out Perez early on, bring in Chester, who would have brought some great energy to the second half, but bringing on in the first half as well, as Taylor, who sent the ball down the field, he went down as well, came back on okay to go. But NCFC now, maybe second 45, really, when they can tune things up and get back in this game. Iwolo back the other way, ball sent in, no one there except on the far wing, and now setting things up for the possession. Smith keeping the ball alive, and they'll move it back centrally.
And we're interested to see what Coach Saracen saw from the first half. Did he see some mismatches somewhere? Did he see where he wanted to expose more space?
Taylor inside, Renix is there, pokes it free, but another big stop by Fervert, as well as Loudoun's defense.
And that's kind of been how the first half was for North Carolina. They get so close, but that final pass, that final opportunity just hasn't been there. And they haven't really had a clear-cut chance to score yet.
Well, they haven't tested Brown too much. He's had to come off his line a few times to help out his defense, but other than that, no really big shots out there for the away side.
And if you're Coach Saracen at halftime, you're bringing that up. You just haven't had a clear opportunity yet. Can you be patient enough to create that opportunity? Can you believe in the game plan enough to create that opportunity as well?
Coming down all the way for Loudoun was Dembro.
And for the North Carolina players, knowing that the first goal is going to matter. Whether Loudoun finds the third or they find the first, it's who's going to find that goal next. For North Carolina, you're down 2, so just be patient, try to find that first one, and then you could put Loudoun under some pressure and find the equalizer.
Stop there again, and the red kit today is Loudoun United, moving from right to left in the second half. North Carolina FC all white, left to right. Another road match for them after falling 1-0 to Louisville. Wild towards the final third. Murphy and a Mo inside the box, deflected back. Duvernay getting the touch out of play, throwing in the final third for Loudoun.
We'll see here early on what Loudoun United wants to do, whether they want to keep pushing the tempo and finding those transitional moments quickly, or do they want to slow it down and really
Presley puts it over and headed down off the post by Amo. It stayed in place somehow, and back with North Carolina.
Well, that answered that. They're looking for the third goal.
Martinez frustrated there, giving the ball away. Taylor stepping up. Knocks it forward, but too heavy of a touch by Al-Badawi. Left side, Amo back on the ball after missing that opportunity, but a good one there for the new striker. Alvarez. Amo driving in, crisscross, back over, Bender, but just up and over.
Amo had a fairly quiet first half, so if he can get it going here in the second half, that's going to spell some trouble for North Carolina as well.
He's created the last two chances here. Presley, what a cross here, finding the back post.
Really building off of how he played on Wednesday, those dangerous services. And then Amo having an opportunity to go at goal.
NCFC back the other way. They'll send it down the right flank themselves. And back over to Brown. UVA grad, putting it out wide. Alvarez. Wild to find some room and work it back to Martinez. Bustamante. Drawing the foul, as this will be a talking to at least. Coming from Thomas Snyder. Bustamante drawing the foul, the former experienced player over at William and Mary, 2017 CAA Player of the Year.
You really give Coach Ryan Martin and his team a lot of credit defensively. We're only 5 minutes here in the second half, but already they're reading services well, they're reading the game well, they're stepping and dropping together, they're defensively connected. They've done well, you know, halting any transitional moment that North Carolina thinks they have. And again, just the way they've defended services has been very impressive.
Alvarez stepping up centrally now, given off to Wild. Covered fairly well though, and it's back to North Carolina. This same Loudoun team actually fell to North Carolina earlier this season, 3-0, so what a turnaround for them, taking care of their opportunities. Chester working it back. He came on as a sub in the first 45. Working around the back.
Yeah, before the match we were talking about a high-scoring North Carolina team, and here we are with a Loudoun United team that has 2 goals in the first half.
Comes Sia. Knocked back out of play by Presley. Will be retrieved by Duvernay. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. The ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Right side of the box for NCFC. Taylor back at the top through his legs. Back out of play, and we're hearing that Loudoun is about to make a substitution here in this match. Like for like switch. And it does come from Ryan Martin. Deflected. Wild back the other way. Charging forward is the red kit. Murphy trying to time his run. Back with Alvarez. Strikes it over, but deflected. Alvarez still there with it. Bustamante, top of the box. He'll flick it on in. Good run. Amo trying to bring it down. Chester lets it go. And it's a goal kick here for NCFC. Another look here.
When Loudoun turns you over, they're attacking with conviction. They're attacking with numbers. They're attacking with confidence. Not a bad look for Bustamante to Amo. When we spoke to Coach Sarakin earlier this week, he talked about how he wanted his team to come out with a lot of good energy. And I've seen spurts of it, but we haven't seen it consistently throughout this match. And you could see the frustration wearing on North Carolina that they have not been able to break this Loudoun United team down.
I'll say this, I think we saw it in the first few minutes, but as soon as that Manny Perez injury happened, as this ball sails well out into the crowd, once that happened, kind of the air was let out of the machine early on as they really had all the possession, dictating things early on. Chester came on, gave that spark, but they just couldn't get back to that point after the early injury.
They didn't sustain it. Yeah, they had moments, they had spells.
And it will be Niman, as you can see, coming on. Defensive midfielder out of Hyattsville, Maryland. Potentially in the next stoppage of play. We're hearing that Martinez will be the one off. So really a defensive switch nonetheless. As Murphy, service out wide. Here's Wild bringing it down. Covered fairly well though by Duvernay. Martinez, service to Presley, pressured by Chester. Back out to Presley, the right back moving ahead. Amo takes it down. Cross in, no one there though. Dembro on the back end, can't get there. And NCFC will get out of this. Taylor.
You wonder for the substitution for Loudoun United, is it something that Coach Martin has seen throughout the game and they wanted to just go back out in the same look in the second half and now they want to make an adjustment? Because typically 10 minutes into the second half, whether something's wrong with Martinez or he's got a holding a little injury or something, you don't know. But this is early in the second half to make a substitution.
Taylor, right side now, looking for a cross potentially. He'll take a go at it. A floater. Looked like it was out of play, and indeed the whistle comes. Goal kick for Loudoun. Here is that substitution again. Nelson Martinez coming off for Moses Niman, a 15-year-old out of Hyattsville, Maryland, getting some experience, coming on for the 17-year-old.
When we talk about the youth on this Loudoun United team, it's going to be fascinating to watch this team develop and finish off this season. It's going to be fascinating to watch this team finish off this game. And obviously, Coach Clark getting two youngsters experience tonight.
Nyman coming in there. And you could see as he was coming off, Martinez holding his right shoulder a bit, so don't want to speculate too much, but it might have been a sub due to injury, as Eric alluded to. Foul is called, coming back against the captain, Murphy. And we're back underway with Taylor. Renix take it down from behind. We play on. Amo.
It's always a fascinating thing when you watch these affiliated clubs with how they develop the youngsters. You're getting experience with them. Obviously, you always want to win games and you want to get 3 points, but developing these young players is very important to these affiliated clubs.
Nyman chips it forward, Murphy that puts it on in! 3-0 Loudoun! Oh, a beautiful service up the middle from the sub on. And they're off and running here with the Stampede.
And as we talk about developing those young players, Neiman feeds a beautiful ball into Murphy. Well timed, well played. The pace on it was perfect. What a substitution, Coach Martin.
And we said earlier how important it was for Murphy to be hot here down the stretch for them to potentially make the playoffs, and a great finish here on the end.
confidence on the finish too. Watch this youngster just chip it right in there. Murphy, well-timed run.
Bit of a no look on the service as well through the back line.
Murphy's finish similar to the finish that he had against Birmingham as well. One-on-one with the keeper, just chipped him a little bit.
First assist of the season for Nyman, and for Kyle Murphy, now up to goal number 7, a team leading number 7 this season. Back the other way, NCFC on the attack. Back to Brown and Loudoun, looking for 3 points at home.
Now we talked about the tempo for North Carolina having to ramp up quite a bit. We talked about being patient at the beginning of this half to maybe get that first goal and then split this the lead into half. Now you're looking at a mountain to climb. You're going to have to push them. You're going to have to press them. You're here on the road. You might want to, continue to kind of up the tempo here.
NCFC trying to get back to the drawing board here and build forward.
Just so impressive from this Loudoun United team.
And we were talking about it before, Eric, is this uncharted territory for Loudoun? It is uncharted territory for NCFC. First time this season, they've allowed 3 goals in a match. For as good as this defense has been under 1 GAA, entering today at about .9. Mo takes the ball in left side. Looking for more, a bit hungry this home side. They're taken right back with Renix. For Loudoun United, last time they scored 3 goals just a few matches ago on August 9th against Charlotte on this very field. That was their first home match here at Sager Field, their new home venue. A good look at Hawkins after that infraction here in the 61st. Taking a look here at the foul.
Trying to slow down the break from Renix. In the next 30 minutes, North Carolina is staring at their second straight shutout, being shut out.
This is the 4th time this season that Loudoun's scored 3 goals in the match. A mirror image of that result against Louisville. But it shows you how high the ceiling can be for this squad. Really young team overall, trying to find consistency down the stretch. But at the same time, they can go up against a North Carolina, a Louisville, and put up a big result like this as Loudoun, one of the more experienced players on the squad, gets sets to come in. But a little bit early there, trying to rush back out there, as he will come on for Kyle Murphy after his goal tally. Through back to Brown. Loudoun, one of the more experienced players on this squad, spending last season with the Riverhounds, 1 goal in 18 appearances, 2 goals in 13 this season for the native of Erie, Pennsylvania.
It's been such a team effort, so far from Loudoun United to shut out this North Carolina team.
Still about 28 minutes remaining, plus stoppage time for NCFC. Again, welcome here into Segra Field. Again, I'm Chris McCovic, alongside me, Eric Dobransky. Bringing you the action as it is. Loudoun on here for Murphy.
United substitution in the 63rd minute. We get a match number 9, Kyle Murphy, and entering the match number 17, Andrew.
Loudoun, some connections to North Carolina himself, playing in college at Wake Forest, where he made 83 appearances. Chester, his ball goes wide and losing that connection. And he would have offered some great pop in the second half if he didn't have to come on in the first half. That's really what North Carolina needs, some new energy, new ideas out there. That's all it looks like right now.
Yeah, Coach Sarakin's got to be looking at his squad and just trying to figure out what he can do to find some answers.
Answers have been coming for Loudoun all day. Maybe another, and number 4 goes right on and in. Mo your name to the scoreboard. 4-0 now to Loudoun United.
What a fantastic performance by Loudoun United thus far. Mo has been dangerous all game, and he's been pressing that back line, and he's been finding his spots. Now you see him move centrally, and he finds a gap in between the center backs and the outside backs. What a good ball by Presley. We talked about his confidence growing with the services. What a ball to Mo. And Mo has the confidence to take the goalkeeper 1-versus-1. Just ball right past him. Good patience. And what a performance by Loudoun United.
The Stampede is off and running 4-0 here in the 64th. His second of the season.
This can't be the performance that Coach Sarachan wanted from his North Carolina squad.
Well, you talked about it before, Eric, as well. They had 3 matches in 7 days. You got a full week off trying to recharge the group, and then just have not been able to find any answers. And I think that last possession where Chester passed the ball out of play really says it all. Just trying to force some things, but just to no avail at this point in the match.
They have been misfiring in all facets of the game, and they haven't been really good at the build-up play. They haven't been good in that final pass in the final third. Their back line has really not read the ball well. They've been put under pressure quite a bit, facing their own goal.
Nyman almost picking that one off.
And we briefly discussed it in the first half. Did our team's going to start seeing North Carolina's team against Louisville City, and now this team against this game against Loudoun, and see different things that they could do against a good North Carolina team?
Pretty clear foul from behind by Loudoun. Over the top, Chester in the box, met by Presley, out of play. Question is this a corner kick? Indeed it is, as the players move up the field. Fortune heads over to take it.
Now, if you're Loudoun United, you're just looking to see if you can get a clean sheet.
They only have 2 all season. Fortune whips it in, headed up. Burforth looked like he got a touch to it. Renix, no look pass, but right off Bustamante. Another corner kick here for NCFC.
With the way Loudoun United's played tonight, you'd be surprised to hear they've only had 2 shutouts against a dynamic and high-powered North Carolina team.
It's the North Carolina side that averages nearly 2 goals per game at 1.8 per game this season. Fortune. Take another go at this corner flag. Short route, trying to get it back, but really great coverage by Loudoun. Taylor lining it up. He'll strike it, but high up and out of the stadium, in fact, Sager Field, and it's a goal kick. Tune in to ESPN3 on September 11th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for an electrifying edition of Wednesday Night Soccer. High-flying Phoenix Rising FC heads to Las Vegas to meet the lights in action-packed Western Conference showdown out west. See it all September 11th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time during Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN3. In Las Vegas, one of those teams trying to squeak into the playoffs. Out west, what a duel will be among all the clubs. As the top 3 really set in stone, Fresno, Reno, and Phoenix, of course. But outside that, a wide open race. And Loudoun trying to make their case in the East, at least here this evening. Their next 4 against teams below the playoff line. So great opportunity in front of them. Taylor, great opportunity here. Cuts it back, but straight off the defender, Dombro. Quick turn, Renix gives it off. But still, the quality has not been there in the final third for NCFC, as Loudoun back on the right wing now. Gives it off, Alvarez.
And sometimes when you have a break like North Carolina did, as players, do you look at the the previous games against Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh, where you scored 9 goals in 2 games, or do you consistently look back at that Louisville City game and harp too much on why we didn't score, why we couldn't get finishes? So what did you really highlight? Did you highlight the negatives of one match, or did you go back and look at the positives from the 2 matches, the one against Pittsburgh and the one against Tampa Bay?
Dave Sarakin, these experienced players, they all know how important it is for consistency headed into the playoffs. And you talked about 2 great results. Big blowout win over Pittsburgh and a big win over Tampa Bay. And those are 2 key playoff contenders. But then you go on the road against a team that you should at least get a point from on the road, and you're unable to find the back of the net through 69 minutes. It's really worrisome as they try to establish their own consistency. And he was worried about the final third, and that's been the problem here today. Rennick's trying to alleviate that for now, but a good stop by Nyman once again. Taylor. Abadawi giving it off, but smothered by the Loudoun defense. Rennick's. Good look here, curler, but right into the arms of Brown.
And I think we would all agree, pretty much harping on what you just said, was North Carolina's seen a bulk of the possession and seen most of the ball, but really haven't been good enough in the final third. And you know, they have such good playmakers with Fortune, Iwolo. Renix has been fantastic. So you're surprised that even just 1 versus 1, or in a breakdown, that they couldn't find a goal throughout this match right now.
Alvarez. I have to say this, we haven't seen Fortune create too much in the center of the field. You have to give credit to Alvarez and Bustamante. They've been great in distribution, but as well on the defense end, swarming there, keeping him patted down as a former player of the week.
And that's a great point. It goes back to what we were just saying about having special players like Fortune and Iwolo and players of that caliber. They've done a great job of team defending, like you said, swarming on the ball, making it very difficult, making it so that those players have to release it to somebody.
Great opportunity here for Loudoun on the free kick. And it will be a substitution here for NCFC, as Smith, his day will be done for the New Hope, Pennsylvania native. And coming on for North Carolina will be Duval Wapawoa of Cameroon, the 19-year-old on loan from MFK Vyškov of the Czech Republic. 3 appearances overall this season, but 2 starts for NCFC in their 2019 US Open Cup run. Wapawo helping NCFC to bolster their midfield. Wild, quick restart, whips it in there. Really off target, but in the end, he does win a corner kick for Loudoun, and that'll be now number 3 in the game.
Loudoun has not backed off. They want to continue to battle going forward, getting set pieces, getting corners.
They're trying to keep that confidence going. About 18 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Ball whipped in, knocked on, but threw everyone out of play.
When you're a team like Loudoun United and you're looking for your first win at home, why not take down a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference?
Dambro look to make the throw in. Cutting through traffic, pokes it on through. A quick turn, maybe a deflection. Indeed there was off Brotherton. Another corner kick for Loudoun.
North Carolina has to be careful. They might give up another one here. Still plenty of time for Loudoun.
Colton Storm coming on now for North Carolina for Renix. And Renix putting in really a good shift here today as a young star out there for North Carolina. Just could not find the right touch in the box.
Agreed, and he couldn't find his moments where maybe he could do what he does best, which is take people 1v1, finding that shot for himself. Loudoun United really crowded that final third, so really made it difficult for players like Renix to find that space and that separation.
Ball whipped in, headed up and away. For those interested, 75th minute over in Tampa Bay, 1-1 between Nashville and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. So if that draws even in the end, still a bit tighter there at the top of the Eastern Conference. And Phoenix Rising, well, they clinched a playoff spot this week. They're celebrating with a 3-0 lead over Colorado Springs at the break. So that win streak may continue on the road here today. Ball whipped in by Duvernay, headed up, a chance, whipped on and headed just wide. And oh, Loudoun United almost returning the favor with a Hawkins own goal as that goes out for a corner kick.
A little fortunate here. Good ball in, a little miscommunication. Not much time to react before that ball hit him in the head.
North Carolina trying to break their own deadlock here on this corner. Ball whipped in, headed away. Duvernay rounding around Bustamante. Whip into it, headed on and away. That was close to being on target. And it's out for North Carolina's throw-in. Only other match going on right now, 32nd minute, Tulsa and Fresno, the last team in the West taking into one in the top three in Fresno. And it's 1-1 at Tulsa. Tacoma Defiance's big win over San Antonio yesterday. Now no longer in the cellar in the Western Conference. Tulsa, who had such a strong start to the season, but since then have not found the right form. As we'll have a talking to here, Thomas Snyder coming over. As Fortune a bit frustrated.
And it's going to continue to be fascinating to watch some of these teams as the playoff pictures start to unfold. Going back to this game, you have a Loudoun United team that probably feels like they're playing with nothing to lose. They're 15th in the standings. They can only really go up from there in terms of upsetting teams, being a thorn in some team's side. And then you have a North Carolina team that might feel a little uptight about being fifth right now. They want to keep climbing the standings in terms of being in that top four, top two maybe. And then so maybe they're playing a little tight. Loudoun's playing with nothing to lose, a little looser. And you've definitely seen it offensively here.
Yeah, and if there's one lesson from tonight, it's anybody can beat anybody in the USL Championship right now. Taylor has the throw in near side, 14 minutes remaining in our match. As it's 4-0 Loudoun. It was 2-0 at the break, but they continued to press with the offense here into the second half. Ball sent ahead, Hawkins all over it though, and sends it back up the field. Here's Loudoun with a bit of room. Cut it back, didn't know the defender was there. Alvarez, Brown, and he'll whip it downfield. Knocked up out of play by Taylor, and back to Loudoun United. This is the most goals scored in a game this season. They had a handful of times at 3 goals, including a 3-0 win over Louisville. Not to the 4 mark, and they have that here today. The most finish just a few minutes ago. Trying to find a 5th maybe is Loudoun United. Loudoun losing it on the tackle by Brotherton. He made a good point before, Eric. This would be the first win in the history of Segra Field for Loudoun United. They won twice towards the end of their campaign in Audi Field before moving over. They've not won and found 3 points yet here, but certainly up 4-0 with about just over 12 minutes remaining. They may be well on their way.
And you could see North Carolina's really pushing for a goal in this match. You've got a week coming up, a break. Obviously, Coach Saracen will probably look at what they did this week in preparation of for this match, and maybe change up what the plans are. But you have a week in between now and their game against Bethlehem Steel, and then another week before they play Swope Park. Obviously, two teams that they would look towards, just like this match, to get 3 points against, depending on where they sit in the standings by the end of tonight and this weekend.
Ball sent in, knocked up and out of play. Goal kick coming for Brown. And the home factor has been so key for NCFC's success this season. 8-1-4 at home in this 2019 campaign. And when you put two teams in front of them as well in Bethlehem and Swope Park, really have to take advantage of that if they want to have a good spot in the playoffs. As you saw, really a small, very small, minuscule chance that they will miss the playoffs at this point. But at the same time, that seeding's so important to avoid going on the road, playing in those quote-unquote play-in matches to begin the playoffs, and instead you're sitting comfortably so you can rest a bit as you end the regular season.
It is, and that's why you sit back and you're disappointed with the performance thus far by North Carolina, because they are playing for that home field advantage.
Storm after the ball goes out of play, and it's a corner kick here for Fortune and NCFC.
At this point, you're just trying to build something positive out of this match for North Carolina.
Fortune whipping it in there, headed up and away. Presley down the right flank, and it's a chase. Loudoun will get after it. Amo centrally, he'll give it off to Bustamante. And that wonder strike for the second goal of the game, he'll give it off. Wild strikes it, falls free, Loudoun there. Was he offsides? Indeed he was. It was pretty clear by a few steps. And it looks like we'll have a sub as well. Orlando St. Clair will come on for Amoa, like-for-like switch in the attack for Loudoun. And I'm sure St. Clair will try to get his name on the scoreboard as well after coming over from Saprissa of Costa Rica.
I really like what Amo did all game. Really dangerous in the space. He was really dynamic side to side. He made those North Carolina defenders work, find him. He spent some time wide. He spent some time central.
Mo the Ghanaian finding his second of the match today. And the second of the season in the match today, as no subs you can see remaining for either side. North Carolina had that early one in the match as Perez went down with the injury. And Taylor on the ball now. Storm takes it down the right side, has to give it off. Abadawi through ball, good look here. On comes Chester and striking it just wide.
What an opportunity by Chester. Good patience by North Carolina. This is probably the ball they've been looking for all game, and unfortunately it doesn't end up in the back of the net. Good movement, good run. That pace of the ball was well timed. And if you're North Carolina, you just gotta be sitting here like, well, that's kind of how this game has gone.
Yeah, and at times in this game, when they do get past that defensive midfield line of Loudoun, they have had some good through ball chances, but those crosses from the wings that they've been relying on so much just have fallen flat with the center backs out there of Loudoun. Back the other way, Duvernay. Offsides, the flag is up, and this will come back for North Carolina. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN+. Of course, Dave Sarakin, North Carolina FC will be back in action on ESPN+ next weekend at 7 p.m. on Saturday against Bethlehem Steel. Loudoun United trying to extend this win streak at Dillon Stadium with Hartford on the docket. 4 p.m. start next Saturday.
And his message is going to have to be just move on and don't make this loss any more than it needs to be. It's just you drop points, that's it. You go and host a Bethlehem Steel side that you should, again, get 3 points against or hopeful to get 3 points against. So really don't let this loss linger. Just move on. It wasn't a great performance.
I was going to ask you about that as a coach too, dealing with the players in front of you. Is there such a thing as building good momentum from the previous match? You're in a situation like this, you find a goal late and you use that forward, or you just hit whatever transit you're using and just try to move on down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on what spectrum you're coming from. If you're on Loudoun United's side, you're obviously taking it as momentum, where it's, hey, let's keep building the confidence. If you're on the North Carolina side, you're just trying to tell them to forget about it. And whether it's 4-0 or 1-0 or 2-1 loss, a loss is a loss. That's all it is.
Fortune taking it in, trying to find that final strike. They'll give it off. Al-Badawi, handball in the box. It looked like cleared. No call comes. We'll have to take another look at that in the next stoppage of play. This will be given off to Taylor.
Wow, that did seem clear to us.
Cleared. Loudoun will take it the other way. And I'm sure our head official, Thomas Snyder, didn't have a look at it, but the assistant referee there on the near side having a talking to from Dave Sarakin, to say the least, as it will be a card here on the back end for NCFC. As it is, Wapawo going to the book for the second time this season.
Let's see if the center referee is kind of blocked here on this. Looked like Bustamante was right behind the North Carolina player.
And that's that whole argument as well, as in a natural position, is it out extended? But when you're at that angle as a defender, it's pretty clear, unfortunately.
It is, yep.
Nonetheless, no penalty called, and we're back underway. The referees didn't see anything there. Nyman back over. Hawkins from the back. Sinclair stepping up. Tackle from behind, he loses the ball. Well-timed challenge by Wapawo. We'll try the near side here. Storm brought it all the way down, but North Carolina again to no avail.
Loudoun United head coach Ryan Martin has to be pleased with his team's performance tonight. Just the conviction to defend. They've attacked as a team, they've defended as a team. Really an overall fantastic team effort.
Back the other way, the shot comes, and it will turn into another corner kick for North Carolina. And Loudoun certainly will need to go on a magical run to make the playoffs and get some results to go their way outside of their own control. But this is a good start for sure, some good momentum as they hit a stretch of 4 straight opponents below the playoff line. This ball floats in, headed down, but an easy grab on the save by Brown.
This opportunity and the opportunity by Chester just a few minutes ago, probably the 2 clear-cut opportunities North Carolina's had all night, and here it comes in the waning moments of this game. But even with the way Loudoun United's defending right now, you can see how much a shutout means to them.
Chester whips it in, knocked back the other way. Duvernay another go at it. Awkward hop, but handled well by Hawkins. This falls free. Loudoun keeps the attack going. Numbers moving ahead in the red kit. Bustamante, good run here. Through ball up ahead. He's into the box. Takes it free, but knocked up and out of play by McLeod. And it's a corner kick laid on for Loudoun.
That's another good ball played in by Neiman. Bustamante with a late run from the holding midfield position. A little bit of an awkward angle. He probably looking back, probably would have wanted to play Gordon Wild.
Bustamante looking for a second. That first one he had in this match certainly will be up for goal of the week here in the USL Championship.
With the confidence he's playing with right now, why not try to chip the keeper there?
Ball sent in. Loudoun near post, but over his head. Out for an NCFC throw-in. An update from Tampa Bay, 2-1 Nashville. With a win there, they would move into sole possession of second in the Eastern Conference. Taking maybe the opportunity on the road in that one. Left flank, Duvernay, met by Presley. Ball whipped in, headed back by Alvarez. Just seconds here really remaining before Loudoun's first win here at their new home in Segra Field. What a matchup it was in their first home match here. A 3-3 draw with Charlotte, unable to find the victory, but they will here today. And maybe a bit more. Loudoun the strike, and a save once again by McLeod. Another corner kick here for the home side.
Good save by McLeod here. Loudoun knew exactly what he wanted to do when he received it. Push it wide just a little bit. McLeod had to come up with a good save. Got his head up, got a new picture of the goalkeeper.
3 minutes of stoppage time to finish off our match. Brought to you by Ortho Virginia. As NCFC trying to get out of this situation. Cleared but briefly as Duvernay has the throw-in.
Loudoun United definitely answered my question about how they were going to manage a 2-goal lead. Simple, they just had 2 more.
Chester trying to keep it in play, just couldn't, and it's a goal kick for Loudoun United. And I think that says a lot about this team. They are young if you look at the roster overall, but showing a lot of maturity. That's a big step for this club moving forward this season.
And maybe that's something that Coach Ryan Martin has wanted to build on, is really making this team feel like they're a confident group and confident when they're playing a team like North Carolina and teams that are on the top, upper half of the table.
Foul called on Taylor. It's going to be a quick restart. No, on Loudoun actually in the 50-50 battle. Bustamante leading the charge back the other way. Here's Wild. All about burning these final 90 seconds now for Loudoun United. Wild saw his teammate wide open left side, wanted the handball, but no, Storm will just take the ball. Through ball down the lane, back with Hawkins. Not sure what happened here, maybe advantage was played. Abadawi and Fortune will send it left side. Sinclair, quick turnaround, looking downfield. What a move there, and dragged down.
Just added to the frustration for North Carolina. So many solid individual performances by Loudoun United.
Yellow card there to Colton Storm, the sub on. As the final seconds tick away here. There is the whistle, and for the first time, Loudoun United winners at Segra Field, their third home win overall of the season, and it comes at a 4-0 result over North Carolina FC. What a finish for Ryan Martin and his side.
What a solid team performance. Coach Ryan Martin has to be pleased with what he saw from his young players. Really, for 90 minutes, they did a great job imposing their will, imposing the game plan, really sticking to what they wanted to do against this North Carolina team.
From top to bottom, cohesive defense, and of course, 4 different goal scorers as well, spreading the load. Mo, one of them, as it's 4-0 in favor of Loudoun United, as we check out our Segra full-time highlights here from Leesburg, Virginia. And it was Loudoun from the get-go, the entire match, getting things going, and it really came on the counterattack.
Great outlet ball here to Alvarez. Alvarez just trying to drive it far post. A little unlucky from Brotherton.
A rough start in the first 2 goals for North Carolina FC. Began with that one and the giveaway by Brotherton, but then it continued here. Wonderful ball in, and then a great finish by Bustamante.
After giving up that initial goal, North Carolina seemed to have kind of controlled the tempo again, but then they give up this set piece, poorly defended on the far side, and then the confidence Bustamante has to take that one time.
Nothing but momentum generated by that. This as well as a Mo foreshadowing what was to come. On a great service again by Presley.
And this was early on in the second half when you have a young team that's up 2-0. What are they going to do? Try to manage the clock or go for a third? And they proved right away they were going to find that the third goal.
After being subbed on, Nyman puts it on a platter for the experienced forward.
What a substitution for Coach Martin. Literally, as Nyman comes on the field, had to be one of his early touches. Good little ball into Murphy.
And Presley, service to Mo, leaving it wide open in the frame, and it's 4-0.
Presley's been a player that's been playing with so much confidence, and a Mo to have the patience to just build around the McLeod.
4-0 Loudoun United. It finishes here from Segra Field. And what a win for them, maybe starting a great stretch. For our entire crew, I'm Chris Makovic. Alongside me, Eric Dobransky. In our match presented by Segra, it finishes 4-0 to Loudoun. We'll see if a magical run can continue down the stretch. Tune in next time right here on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.